Do you know, every bite of sea fish you eat may be stained with the blood of Bering Sea fishermen? For decades, hundreds of fishing boats vanished into thin air. But some people are desperate to come to this sea half to support people, half dead. According to the Fisheries Safety Database, fishing in the Bering Sea, the death rate is more than 30 times higher than that of ordinary occupations. It's such a terrible place, or the ceiling of the Earth's dry rice feeder, from the Bering Sea to our doorstep. It is also the top channel for animal migration. So far, it has been the migration of most intense on none of them. So how deep is the Bering Sea today? How big is it? Let's get to the bottom of this rich and crazy Bering. You won't know how scary this place is until you see it. Look at the map first. Bering Sea. It's the Eurasian Pacific and North America. A sea between. And Hui. The south is blocked by the Commander Islands of the Aleutian Islands. Just to the north is a narrow Bering Strait, barely rubbed against the edge of the North Pole. Just this location, it directly turned him into a border zone that mother doesn't love. It's not just a two-week border in politics. It's even more of a paradox when it comes to climate. This is the cold water of the Pacific Ocean, battlefield where the cold air of the Arctic fights. The two bosses fight each other every day. The weather in the white-collar sea to be so outrageous that it has no friends. It was calm a second ago. The next second, there was a storm. Forecasting the weather is harder than your girlfriend's mind. Has this place always been this crazy? Not really. During the last ice age, the Bering Sea doesn't exist. Sea levels were low. Here's a piece of land. The famous Bering Road Bridge. It's not just animals running here. Our human ancestors also relied on this bridge. From Asia to America. Let's get this straight. The bottom of the Bering Sea is the human calendar, the largest cattle migration corridor in history. And then the ice melted, land flooded, to form the current Bering Sea. But the traces of the ancestors are still there. The northeast is a shoal. In fact, it is the aftermath of the plain back then. The southwest is bottomless, all the way to the vicinity of Oceania. And it wasn't originally called the Bering Sea. In the 18th century, this place is called Kamchatka Sea, also called Haley Sea abroad. It's not because of the beavers, but because of Haida. At that time, the fur of Haida was ridiculously expensive. People pick up hair from the sea tower. Crazy running here. Haida hunt also became human. The first economic driver to develop this area. It's just that people at that time purely wanted money, but not their lives. The fishing boat went out far from the shore. If something goes wrong, rescue will take at least a few weeks. Shipwrecks are commonplace. Later this sea was named the Bering Sea, in memory of the explorer Wietus Bering. But here's the funny thing. Bering himself has never used this name, and the name has changed. Instead, it is certain that this sea is but it's not safe. So how big is the Bering Sea? Say to scare you. Over 2 million square kilometers. It is larger than 10 Shaanxi provinces. It's one of the largest seas on Earth. The average depth is over 1.5 kilometers. The deepest point is more than 4 kilometers. It's like stacking for of Mount Everest on top of each other. Throw into the sea. Still can't show. But this is outrageous. The treasures and traps of this sea just rubbed a piece. Most biological activities and our human fishing operations are concentrated in the dive areas of the northeast. The deepest here is 200 meters. It is the richest ocean breadbasket in the world, but it is also the hardest hit area for fishing boat accidents. The vast majority of shipwrecks, it all happens in this small area. From 1990 to the early 2010s, is near the Bering Sea and the Aleutian Islands. More than 100 fishing boats went missing. Hundreds of sailors were killed. Sailboat icing overload. Out of control in the storm. Each is a deadly fuse. To put it bluntly, fishing in this place is life for money. Win the bet and make a fortune. I lost the bet to feed fish and shrimp. Why is this place so prone to accidents? It starts with its terrain bug. The Bering Sea is actually a semi-enclosed sea. The south was poisoned by the islands. There is only a narrow strait to the north. Warm currents from the Arctic Pacific can't get in at all. The worst part is, this shallows, far from the high seas and rescue bases. It is equivalent to calling TNT the Earth is not working if something goes wrong only by fate. Plus the hellish climate here. Summer is pitifully short. Winters are long and ridiculous. It freezes every year. But the knot is particularly messy. Not the whole ice crushed ice. The ice floes look like they can be sailed through. In fact, it can trap the boat in minutes. Propeller. It's common for rudders to be smashed by ice. And the water temperature here, it's between -1 degree centigrade and 4 degrees centigrade cold all year round. If a person falls into the Bering Sea, not wearing any protection, you lose consciousness in 5 minutes, tops. Even with a professional wetsuit. The time it can last is only a few dozen minutes. There was no rescue. This is why the Bering Sea drowning rescue. The success rate is ridiculously low. It's not that I don't want to say. It's too late. What's even scarier is, the storms here are the ocean's version of tornadoes, because the Bering Sea happens to be the junction zone between the Arctic and Pacific air masses are removed from the storm will form. And the path of the storm is particularly chaotic. And these are not ordinary waves, they are short and steep, and coming from different directions. Fishing boat at sea, it's like a leaf being slapped by the waves. The pressure on the hull is tremendous. The hull will get tired over time. It's easy to get out of control and capsize, especially those fishing boats. In order to pack more fish, the center of gravity is already high. It's just worse to encounter these kinds of waves. The probability of translation directly doubles. If the boat capsizes, rescue is too late. Even if a distress signal is received, it will take 12 to 48 hours to get there, sometimes even longer. In sub-zero cold water, so long in the wind and waves. When the rescue arrives, often just empty seas remain, or a broken wreck. Can't even find anyone. So fishing in the Bering Sea. Two deadly scenarios are often staged. The first is to capsize. It's not because of the poor quality of the boat. It's a confluence of factors. The fish cargo is overloaded. The center of gravity of the ship increases. Ice on the sea is piled unevenly on the boat, because the center of gravity to ship, plus sudden storms and waves. The ship can't hold steady at all. It will be turned over in an instant. The sailors didn't even have time to escape, swallowed directly by the sea. The second type of cabin water enters and drifts out of control. The temperature in the Bering Sea, the ship's cooling line valves are perennially eroded by cold water, easily clogged by ice or debris from the sea. Cause pipeline depressurization. The seawater will slowly seep into the cabin. Not much water seeped in at first. Fishermen may not have noticed or feel in control, but over time, the water is entering faster and faster. Exceeds the capacity of the water pump. The water in the cabin is accumulating. The ship will slowly lose control, start drifting at sea. If there is another storm or ambush, the ship will be hit and riddled with holes. Even if the hull is not broken, will also be trapped by ambushes. Propulsion zombies can only be slaughtered at sea. What's more desperate is, even if the ship has no sails, people on board will also face low temperatures, lack of water and food. If you don't make it to rescue, you will freeze to death and someone may have to ask. Technology so advanced there is now. Satellite navigation, automatic beacon, accurate weather forecast. Why is the death rate in the Bering Sea still so high? To be honest, technology does reduce risk a bit. But I can't stand the Bering Sea. It's crazy. The ice is melting. Storms are becoming more frequent. The weather is getting harder to predict. And many fishermen, I feel that winter is a little warmer than before. Let go of your vigilance. Bend your head and go to sea. The result can be imagined. So the deadly trap in the Bering Sea. Let's talk about his treasure. Why is it so dangerous? There are still so many people running here desperately. And the answer is quite simple. It's so rich here. Rich to oil. The northeastern shoal of the Bering Sea, although the place is not big, but on Earth, one of the most biologically active regions, a paradise for marine life. There are over 400 species of fish and it's here. Not the kind of sporadic distribution. They pile up. One of the most representative, it's pollock. He accounts for 40% of the total amateur goods in the United States. Almost half of them are from white pollock from the sea. In addition to that, there are crabs, shellfish and dermatologists. Life on the seafloor is dense. It's a giant underwater cafeteria. Not only does it feed humans, it also supports countless marine animals and the sea dwellers here. Each one is unique. The first is the sea tower. I was crazy by humans back then, hunting for soft gold. Although the number is small now, but still a frequent visitor to the white-collar sea, living on shellfish, sea urchins, seabed cleaners, and then the seal. There are several species of seals. Each seal species has its own territory. Some rested and bred on the ice. Some feed off the coast and on shoals. Do not disturb each other. The poorest is the walrus. Walruses mainly feed on shellfish in the shallows, and it's particularly dependent on ice. The ice is where they rest and bask in the sun. But as the climate warms, there's less and less ice. Sometimes the ice recedes far. Walruses can't find ice to rest on. They can only gather together on the shore. A dense expanse. Except for walruses, whales are also frequent visitors to the white-collar sea. Each species of whale has its own cooking habits. It can be called a dry meal group in the whale world. Gray whales are primer-dried criminals. Specializes in eating crustaceans on the ocean floor. It turns up sediment on the ocean floor. The scene is particularly spectacular. Humpbacks and fin whales are seasonal killers. Phytoplankton explosion. When the small fish increase, only then will you come to the Bering Sea to show off the rice. Male whales are ice lovers. He's been near the ice, particularly sensitive to changes in the ice surface. Their living space is getting smaller and smaller. It's these sea creatures make the Bering Sea a treasure sea for the Earth. It also made this place human, a survival granary. There are millions of people all over the world living off fish from the Bering Sea. fish here. A steady stream of shipments to all parts of the world enter the dining table of thousands of households. Some people may have questions when they see this. The Bering Sea, so rich and so dangerous. Why would anyone want to live here? Fishing here? And the answer is quite simple. Part of it is survival. For life. For many fishermen, fishing is their only livelihood. Even if you know that Bailan Hai is dangerous, they had no choice. Just bite the bullet and go to sea. Trade your life for the food and clothing of your family. On the other hand, it's because the Bering Sea, so powerful. His powers are far beyond human control. We humans can build tall buildings on land, build highways to conquer mountains and rivers, but so insignificant in front of the Bering Sea. So fragile. We can't control the storm here, can't control the ice here, can't control the waves here. Even with the most advanced technology, you can only revere nature, not conquer it. To be honest, if I give you a monthly salary, let you go fishing in the Bering Sea for half a year, do you dare to go? Leave your answer in the comment area. See you next time.